Everybody, welcome back to the Fort Collins Contender eSport LAN event as we are heading in to Pool B Round 3 as we're going to stick with Infinite eSports going up against Cerberus, ex-BeavR. We're just going to call him Cerberus for now, but coming on in here, Kamika, how are you feeling about Infinite? They have to hit that regain button because that last series, honestly, it was a little tough to watch in the end.
Yeah, so for those of you in the audience that did not see the last series, first of all, go back and watch it. Second of all, for those of you guys that don't want to do that, you're too lazy or whatever, oh my goodness. Well, I guess it looks like we'll have a little bit of extra time to explain what went down and why we're freaking out about it so much. Infinite eSports, they were 5-0 up in the Search and Destroy, and then they lost their shape completely. They freaked out, and they lost it 6-5. And some very similar thing happened in the control, except they didn't get any points on the board in that one. So definitely looking to hit the regain button mentally here as they are fighting for 3rd or 4th place at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like how you said hit that regain button, getting full sailed at a LAN nonetheless. Like that's a tough pill to swallow. And you and I were kind of talking since I wasn't casting. I was watching it as that spectator. You and Big Rich X, by the way, incredible on the commentation. I love it. But what were you kind of seeing where it allowed the side of, Infinite to kind of fall apart? Because they looked so good in those first 5 rounds, and then all of a sudden it just felt like a flip or a switch was flipped, and it completely went the other way.
Yeah, that's the saddest part about it for me, Graf, is the fact that they were so good. They were creaming these guys. These rounds were looking real good in their favor. It was, and then just for it to end like that, the reason why, for those of you guys that missed it, was because the reasons why they were winning was because they maintained a really good shape. Angles on lockdown, held complementary angles, didn't freak out, didn't overextend, textbook good play. But as soon as they lost a round, they just started losing their shape, man. They would say, like, as soon as the killing started on one part of the map, they'd be like, all right, I gotta be there. I gotta go. I'm flying in. And then they would just completely give up their positions. They would take these solo challenges, and it became a very individualized effort when the reason why they were winning initially was because of their team effort. So, yeah, just sort of lost sight of what was making them do good.
And it kind of felt like the other team really kind of, I guess was the way to explain this new look. They started to stick a little bit more together because they were also playing, I think, on a lot of islands, and they thought that their individual skill coming in from map 1 was really just going to kind of catapult them into that map 2, and that did not happen because there was a lot of individual challenge coming out from them in those first 5 rounds. And then once they started to get a little bit more close-knit, they had one on that island playing for information, then they kind of started staying in that 3-pack unit. They were allowing those team shots to come on in. It was allowing them to get those first bloods, and it really just turned the tides. And not to mention, I think Derek the GOAT was a real reason, right? He just went God mode in those middle rounds, and he took over the map, and you just can't have that happen, especially in this environment. So coming on into this next series, Infinite, like you said, going up against Cerberus, both of these teams are 1-1 with a 4-4 map count. So this is one where you are playing, like you said, for that 3rd, 4th place position. But who are you more favoriting coming on in? Do you think Infinite can regain, or do you think Cerberus is just going to take this one by storm?
If I had to make a decision based on what I just saw from Infinite, I would definitely peg them to lose, just because it was a tough loss. And in contrast, the loss that we saw coming out from the other guys was to Acrylic, who are my personal picks to win the whole LAN. So if we're looking at a comparison just based on the skill of our opponents and the way that they lost, I would definitely have to give it to Cerberus.
Hey, I completely agree with you to some regard, but of course, I gotta make it a little bit spicy. I was saying this was either going to be a 3-0 Cerberus or a 3-0 Infinite. I think after having that happen, they're going to hit the reset button because I've seen this team perform in LAN. And I've seen them in situations like this where they completely got mollywopped in one series. In the next one, it was just like something happened where it snapped and they're like, okay, we're locking on in. We cannot have this happen again. I think this is actually going to be a 3-0 in favor of Infinite because they were still keeping up with one of probably the top teams. Granted, the respawn, I think that teamwork basis wasn't quite there, but when it comes to individual gun skill, I think they can match almost any single team in this environment.
Yeah, I mean, they do have some really good people on their team, like Vader. I've seen him for quite a long time. He's very consistent in the amount of kills he's able to bring in. I mean, Daunt, he was pulling off some really, really ridiculous moments, like walking into the middle of the entire team, killing 3 of them for free. That stuff like that, it just shows you they're really good players. But again, they just got to be a little bit more disciplined, and that's, again, something that they lacked in comparison to their opponents, the mental toughness and the discipline.
And that comes with, you know, maybe some of these players not having a lot of LAN experience. I don't think it was necessarily Vader. And I know Roblox Kid, this person was pegged as a cheater for so long. And then finally he came to LAN for the first time in May, and the guy fried. And now he's still doing it again. He has incredible gunny. It's just interesting kind of seeing him play one of those more aggressive ARs. They don't have a person that plays an anchor. I don't think Vader isn't necessarily an anchor AR, neither is Roblox Kid, so they really have to kind of just move themselves as a team and really, like you said, hold those angles. And that might be the problem, is that they maybe have too many players in certain positions and they don't have an anchor that can just hold them solid. So that's kind of the biggest question for them, like you said, is making that teamwork come through in this in the LAN.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. I mean, I remember a certain moment in the Mercado hardpoint that they played last, and that definitely rings true because they punished their opponent's aggression. They got a full team wipe. Went straight out onto the P1 just to try and recover some of the time they lost. It's a good thing to do. But while they did that, everyone else sort of greeted for kills, and they left one guy alone on the P2 spawns. And believe it or not, the entire enemy team, because they want the P2 spawns, 4v1 to that guy and took the spawns away from them. And so, yeah, again, that's just credence to your point right there, that they don't prioritize the anchor play a little bit, or at least they didn't in that last series.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the faster teams. I think their submachine guns, Savini and Daunt, they like to fly at people. And there's moments where they have to just stop and sit still. I swear, when I was watching that Search and Destroy, Savini just kept moving. I was like, sit still, just play an angle, hold a corner. And guess what? That's what their success was. Because he ended up playing, I think in round 1 or round 2, where he ended up finally pushing, ended up getting 2 kills when he was just kind of just sitting in the same area. And that's what they need. They need consistent communication, and you could kind of tell they were lacking on it. There wasn't much energy there, so that needs to change coming into this next series.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's a little bit nervous, you know. LAN can do that to you, especially if you drink way too many energy drinks. I've made that mistake before. Like, literally, Graph, my first LAN, dude, I drank 3 bangs. It was a big mistake, dude. I was cracked out of my mind, and it showed. But yeah, it's definitely something that can happen. You get the jitters, you feel like you can't sit still, you may be online, you're in a little bit more of a relaxed environment, you don't have your opponents literally staring at you face to face, and you're also probably not hopped up on G Fuel like I was. But yeah, it can definitely add to the difficulty of the game.
Again, it just comes down to, like you said, it's different playing in the comfortability of your home and then playing right in front of somebody that's in your face talking the trash. And that's like the greatest thing I love about LAN, and you can hear it. This one is loud. People are getting at each other, and there's been a lot of map 2s, map 2 round 11. I think looking at across the board, we have not had a single map 5 in pool play. Not in Group A, not in Group B. There's been a lot of close maps, like map 4s, map 2s, where that could potentially do it, but a team always closes it out. And sorry, everybody, and thank you for being patient. One of the players had an audio issue, so everybody's loaded on in, and we're going to be kicking it off here for the Embassy hardpoint. What is it for the side of, Cerberus, that they need to do to get this one done?
Well, Graph, as I always like to say when I'm casting this map is quite a lot about killing people first and getting objective second. That's pretty much the order that you do it in my personal experience. If you're able to get a full team wipe, then your job just gets so much easier, especially if you're ARs. You know that they're going to spawn in 1 or 2 places, which you'll 9 times out of 10 have an angle on. As soon as they turn the corner, they'll be turning a corner into your AR, and you'll be able to pre-aim shoot them. And so that makes it very difficult to recover from if you do get in that position.
So in this regard, for me, you kind of got to give the edge to Infinite because they're such a slay-heavy team at times. And so this could be a map that goes their way, or it could come back to bite them when they get a little bit too over-aggressive. We'll have to wait and see, but wait no further because it is kicking off here in Noble. The teammates coming on in. Roblox will be the first to drop. As you can see it, Kulch, he's holding that angle. Daunt will run right on into him, and that is a good green kill feed. Make it all 4 down. Cerberus, they're going to try to get a little bit of this P1. Kulch being in a forward position, sitting on in the bathroom. Savini, though, will take one down in the hallways, and he actually runs right by one of the players, and ooh, he actually catches out Kulch at the last moment. But still, Cerberus getting a lot of good time.
Oh, Vader. Nice little 2-piece there from Vader. Had the audacity to challenge him while one-shot and still managed to fry him. Well done. And in addition to that, Infinite eSports, they've got full control over the next hill. And so, Vader, what he's going to want to do is, you see him doing it, he's trying to backtrack a little bit so that he doesn't get caught too far away from his team. He doesn't want to be the reason why they lose spawns for some weird reason. And so, he's just going to sit here, wait for them to make their approach. As soon as they do, he shoots them dead.
And he's got to realize right where Savini spawned, has to realize right there that, hey, we do not have the backside, and Daunt's just going to lay down. Luckily, he does have a trophy to come on out, but he has the ARs holding down these angles. Like you said, Roblox kid, he is there, and oh, a great last-second nade, but still the teammates from Infinite are ready and tried and true. And look at this, they're kind of sticking a little bit more close-knit. They're not playing as spread as they should. And they're going to get a lot of this time. They should almost get the last 20 seconds in Cerberus. They're chalking up the final 30 unless they're going to make one final push. Roblox, though, gets one. Oh, Noble. That was a little scary, but either way, Infinite, they get the last 35, and they're already pushing out this P3.
Yep, Cerberus are going to... The one good thing about them not having the P2 spawns is by default they have the P3 spawns. And so... the fact that they also didn't get full team wiped there is a good thing. They should be able to get a good setup here, and Infinite eSports are going to be a little bit less comfortable in their push, but Vader, his position in reference to Roblox Kid does make this a little bit interesting. It makes it so that they can't just fully challenge him out. They have a very limited amount of spots they can be on this objective, but Kulch going to be holding it down very nicely, and Cerberus going to be all respawning and setting up again.
And yeah, it's really coming down to Savini having to be this opening player, but Noble with the AR laying down at the top step. He will gun him down in his prime, but my goodness, Roblox Kid and the rest of the players from Infinite, they get a clean 3, and this is going to be the last 30 seconds again. Going their way. And now Daunt, he goes out for an ego. I don't necessarily like that because he had a player that was sitting right next to him, and this is kind of the problem, right? It feels like some of these guys over challenge when they shouldn't, and all you had to do was wait one more second. You would have had a line of sight with your teammate to gun him down, and guess what? It forces you, and you end up losing that P4 rotation.
Yeah, P4 though, in my opinion, one of the easier hills to break on this map, so that's not necessarily the worst thing in the entire world. This hill is Contest City. It's just break after break after break. It's so hard to get anything really going on this hill unless you're really, really good, and there you go. Like I said, there's the first one, and I'm sure that another one is bound to come, Graph.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the side of Cerberus can take a bite out of the Infinite eSports, but Roblox, he is starting to snake his life away. Gyra trying to come on in. Is 2 more players. They will dodge up, dive in, dodge. Just like a true underdog story, and the kill feed is lighting up blue. Wow. I was saying how Infinite, they were either going to hit the regain button or they were going to fall apart, and right now, this is the teamwork we have been waiting to see. Again, just small mistakes here and there, but altogether, they're getting a lot of this time, and I'm not a big fan of having them leave that last 10 seconds. I'm never a fan early in the game when you leave seconds on the board.
Oh, well, you can excuse it due to the fact that they are about 60 points up on their opponents right now. And so they want to make sure that their opponents are as comfortable as little as possible on this next objective. This is a hill that can definitely be a very swing-worthy hill, especially if it turns into you going into getting some good time on P1 and P2 spawns as well. This hill is quite a lot of momentum building. And so they wanted to try and deny that. Vader, huge, absolutely massive kills there. And with that, they should be able to secure themselves 30 seconds. But Cerberus, they're going to be challenging this hill out to the very bitter end because, again, what I just said, you get it's a hop, skip, and a jump out onto P1 and P2 spawns.
Hop, skip, and a jump. I love that. But you're kind of taking a look at the scoreboard right now and look at Gyra, 3 and 13. If you need anybody to step up here in the second half of rotations, it's that man because he's not having the greatest of map 1 starts. Daunt, last player left in the point. They're going to triple chow him. Nowhere left to hide. But look at Vader. A minute of hill time, 18 and 8. We were saying somebody just need to pop off. Guess what? It's the ARs for Infinite.
Yep, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Lord Vader choking the life out of these guys and forcing them to not be able to challenge him anymore. But either way, Infinite Esports getting a very surprising time off this P1. This is going to force Cerberus to... They're like, you know what, we got P2 spawns, but Infinite Esports, we won't be able to catch them if we don't challenge this time. They could probably even get close to breaking 200, so we got to go and do something for this. But while they do this, Infinite Esports is looking to whisk these spawns away from them and get an even bigger lead. It's a great position that Infinite Esports have gotten themselves in, just virtue of how far ahead they are in the lead.
Ooh. A little scary right there from Vader as he's not able to find the kill and his teammates are not able to get any more, but Daunt should be able to clean up the last few. Kulch sitting down low. And again, like you said, they're playing for spawns, but everybody's just fighting for all this P1 time, and it goes to the side of Infinite. Cerberus, I think they need to start slowing down, playing to the pace that they need to. It feels like they are trying to keep up with the pressure that Infinite is throwing. And oh, here comes the knife, and oh, well, it does have some teammate and Kulch. He has been the staple so far on the side of Cerberus, keeping them in this game. Daunt, though, gets a good double, and again, this is a rotation going the way of Infinite, and right now they are slaying out against the BeavR squadron. Yep.
Cerberus gonna be managing to get some good breaks on this hill, but it's gonna be very, very short-lived, as you can see here. And with that, the full team wipe. That is a great, great time for Infinite to be getting that.
Oh no!
Because if you look, their opponents their death timers are so long that Roblox Kid can literally set up on this next hill and beat them to the hill that they're spawning right next to. And with that, Cerberus, the hill that they would be wanting to stabilize on is going to be one that is going to be completely used against them. It's not going to be given to them for free. And in fact, Infinite Esports could end the game right now if they really play hard enough.
They absolutely could. Savini, last player left alive. Will he read the player on to Gyra? No, he will not. And so what looked to be disaster for a moment, Cerberus, they end up getting a good, clean set of kills, and it's forcing everybody from Infinite to spawn out towards that back administration side, and they're gonna hunt down Noble. And great communication there, realizing there was a player still up top. Kulch does get taken up a little bit. Vader gets taken down. Good angle from Prada, and Prada is kind of one of the players that's been with Cerberus for the past few months, and they love this young gun, and he is starting to tear it on up as he finds a double. But here comes a big 1v1. Who can win it? And it's Daunt. Again, short-lived, but he's stripping away time from Cerberus.
Yep, and Vader also trying to strip away time from Cerberus by shooting the one lone player off of it, denying 13 seconds. It's a little bit of time in comparison to how much they have, but it's still very worth doing this good macro on their part. And, ooh, good pistol shots coming out from Vader there as well. This hill, again, like I said, it's very contest heavy, but Infinite Esports, they got a very surprising amount of time off at the last time, and Cerberus, they do have to still respect their opponents on this hill.
Oh my goodness, Daunt, what have you eaten since that last series as him and Savini are starting to roam free? Daunt gets a triple, and will he get the fourth as it's number 5, Noble sitting in the back. Roblox Kid, all he needs to do is stay alive, and guess what? That's exactly what he's doing. Unfortunately, not long enough, but Daunt's on 5. Savini still holding it down with him, and now he can feel the pressure. Gets one, has the help of Vader, and Vader gets 2. They could shut it down right here, Comica, and send it to a quick map 2.
Yeah, they just have to get one last touch in here. Vader, he's run himself out of bullets, and so he will not be able to end it off this hill. That would have been literally picture perfect anyway. But as you can see, Infinite Esports, they dragged their opponents into a bad situation again, and they've got the rotation. So Cerberus, it's just non-stop pressure, non-stop having to play catch-up with Infinite eSports, and Infinite eSports are set up. 15 seconds is all that is necessary. Vader with the mid-map pressure, going to be able to kill Kulch, capable to kill Gyra as well. It's all on Prada. It's all on Noble. They got to fly in. Can't afford to wait for their teammates. They got to go now. Prada, what are you doing? Fly in. And there goes Noble, 3-piece, saving the day for the moment.
And 2 seconds away, Infinite, what's kind of been their storyline is they haven't been able to close out games quickly, and you do not want to see this one get extended to a next set. But oh, and there's another triple. Daunt, is he going to read that player? No, he will. Oh, he actually does. Snaps onto him relatively quick, but you can still afford to kind of play for this one as, oh, Gyra not able to find that kill. Savini trying to take his time, playing his life. One more left to beat, and that should be all they wrote. And that is going to be the side of Infinite eSports. I think they hit that regain button after that last series.
Oh, absolutely. You can tell by the fact that they actually won with their lead now, but barring that, Infinite eSports, huge, well done. They kept their opponents on their death timers. They kept with the good rotations, always forcing their opponents to play catch-up, pressuring the P1, just keeping the tempo all the way through. This is something that they did so good at, lost their way, and now they're back at it again. The prodigal sons have returned from Infinite eSports, Graph.
That's what they needed. If they didn't get that win there, I was saying their mental was chalked after, I think, that full sale. I mean, after that, you just don't expect them to win the control, but it's good to see them finally getting another map on the board. But Cerberus, again, this is a team that is no strangers to tough series. They will fight tooth and nail to get a map win. And heading on in to Search and Destroy Fortress, it's going to be interesting to see, because I think the side of Cerberus, they are well-oiled Search and Destroy. Again, so is the side of Infinite, but do you think that will be lingering in their mind going into this map 2? Because the last 2 series, they've gone to round 11s. They won one, and the other one they got full sailed. You cannot have that in the back of your mind coming into this one.
I mean, you can't not. It's something that's inevitably going to be on your mind, at least going into this series, if not into a couple series from now, dude. That is just something that is the most tilting thing that can happen to you in a Search and Destroy, being 5-0 up and then losing every single round in a row. That's just a little bit of a problem. But obviously, they could avoid having that happen to themselves again. They managed to get back on the saddle on the hard point, and with these players, sometimes that's really all you need. Like, you can just, look at one tiny little thing and be like, all right, guys, we're going to win now. It's just something, there's just something beautiful about it, the fact that you can latch onto something so small that's going good for you, and then be like, all right, guys, now we're going to win. We're unstoppable. It's awesome. But yeah, we are going to be going into a little bit of a map of Fortress, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very, a map that's by the book. You pretty much only challenge one objective. Graph, tell me a little bit about the methodology we're going to be having to see in this fortress.
I would love to see somebody bring out a sniper. I can't remember who it was the last time. I think it was Roblox who brought it out in a Mercado in his first series. So I'm curious if he's going to try to pull that out and play either that one of the stairs on the double doors in particular, just that little sliver where if you just find that head, you can get that kill and immediately put yourself into a good spot. But it comes down to, like you said, they need to play each other's angles. When they feel like they start losing, it kind of feels like they crumble. They start to, like you said, lose their form. So I think if you're the side of Infinite, keep your form, and even if you lose a round or two, don't let that get to your head. You need to just hold and be like, hey, our setups were good. Let's just keep playing off of each other. Don't allow these non-traded kills to come through. But on the side of Cerberus, I think you kind of need to play a little bit more aggressive, because I have a feeling that Infinite, they're going to play a tad bit slow here.
I mean, yeah, they could very well. I could very well see them playing a little bit fast, because they got a solid player, Prada, on their team. I've seen this guy in a couple of lanes at this point. I think I've seen him in at least 1 or 2. And the guy, he's a slayer through and through. He always provides some good kills, and I'm pretty sure I've seen him do really good in a lot of Search and Destroys, always racking up the kills. And so, yeah, I think they're going to be looking to play around him a little bit, looking at some of the other players on the team. I think that we can definitely say that Prada is going to be one of the major persons they look to play around, but at the end of the day, it's a team game. They're gonna need to find some certain ways to push around. They're gonna need to play the close angles, especially if they want to eliminate the possibility of getting sniped, like you brought up. And so yeah, I'm just looking for who can keep their shape better, who can follow basically the form that's set up for them in the map better.
Couldn't agree with you more. And while we're waiting to load on into this map too, I'd love to pull up the bracket and kind of show everybody what has transpired so far in the pool play. And let's kind of go over Group A first. You see it across the board. ATK, they were undefeated. Pulsive Gaming all the way to the round 5. But guess what? Pulsive, probably one of the top teams, if not the top team in this tournament. They end up beating ATK in a 3-0. Granted, it was close. So they are going to take that #1 seed heading on into Championship Sunday. And then still, we are in round 3. We have a lot more Call of Duty. I have a feeling this is going to end at about 1 p.m. or 1 a.m., maybe 1:30. So we have a long night ahead of us. But we're maybe hoping for some quick series at the end of the night. But either way, we're here to bring you through all the action. And right now, it looks like we're finally loading on into the Fortress Map 2 Search and Destroy.
Yep. And for those of you guys that missed map #1, it was a big fat dub for Infinite eSports. They just ran their opponents around the map. Constant pressure, constant respawning, constant death for them. Can't really rely on that too much in this map and mode, but Infinite eSports, we've seen in the last series that they have good fundamentals. They just got to make sure that they keep their cool, keep their mental composure, and not lose sight of what's constantly giving them good wins and rounds.
You got to keep that in the line of sight, the LOS. But Noble, he pulls out a sniper. Savini, though, he gets aggressive immediately, and he takes down Prada. That was the player you said who was going to really have to make those individual plays. Noble's getting challenged, and where has this been? We've seen such hot starts from Infinite, and they are now starting to team challenge Kulch. Do you have what your name is repping? Do you have a 1v4 in ya?
I mean, I'm not going to say no. We will see. We will see if Kulch can do it indeed. Looking for a kill in the middle of the map. Sees Daunt. Daunt has picked up the sniper rifle, puts it back, obviously, and pulls out and instantly gets the kill onto him. And so Infinite eSports, tried and true, getting around #1, starting off hot as usual.
Yeah, immediately he's like, yeah, I'm missing one shot. I'm not taking a chance at it. And so he's making sure he secures that kill in the 1v1, but kind of another picture-perfect round for Infinite. They had another hot start here, and it came down to Savini finding that first blood against Prada. And so if you're coming on in to the attack for the side of Infinite, for the side of Cerberus, where do you decide to go if you know that they're going to be watching over? But again, it's Savini and Vader finding the first bloods. And we were talking about how Savini didn't necessarily have the greatest second half of that last series. He's starting to show his form, and now he's starting to stand still. And this is what we were talking about right before this map.
Yep, and they're looking to close this one out. Tightening the chokehold. Prada stuck as can be. But yeah, what I was going to say before they answered your question for me was I would be expecting my opponents, based on how aggressive they were on the attacking side, to be just as aggressive on the defending side. I'm going to see if they're going to be running down the middle at me, setting up, waiting, and that's pretty much exactly what they did. However, they got really stuck in. In fact, they got caught a little bit flat-footed by their opponents getting there at pretty much the same time as them. And so, yeah, I think that Cerberus, they're going to be expecting a lot of aggression coming out from Infinite from this point forward. The first round, you could say maybe they're not going to be as aggressive this time, but 2 rounds in a row, absolutely, you have to be expecting it.
And Daunt immediately, he's thinking about going right on into the gals, but look who's pushed his way up. Prada, what a gunshot, and Roblox wasn't ready for it. You have to get that call out, but Vader, he eventually gets the trade, but look at Gyra, he's pushed up, and he actually didn't have that information. Vader goes out with a little bit of an ego, trying to take him down. He needs the wallbang. He gets a few shots. He still can't find the kill. But Savini also 4-0 has yet to go down. And so what looked to be a 2v4 now put it into the 2v2. This is a big round for Cerberus. Can they get it done? But look at Vader. He knows Gyra is still there, and he's just getting some bad timing when he stands up, and he might try to cross. I think Noble got that information. He absolutely did, but so did Vader, and trying to play some angles, but they should get a free bomb plant. It's going to be a 2v2 retake.
Oh, the fact that they got past Noble's sight line is absolutely huge. Noble coming in here trying to play pickup, but as you can see, they've gotten clean away. They do have to be cautious. Oh my goodness. Vader stuck between two enemy players, runs right out and gets caught. Oh, so unfortunate. But Cerberus finding their way back on in. This is a site that is not that easy to take back, but they found a way to do it. They caught their opponents off guard right as the plant got done.
I think that was due to both of them having submachine guns. I think Vader picked up a sub, Savini has the sub. And again, that was kind of one of those moments where they split, right? They didn't need to. They knew where one of the players was. Savini had the idea that one was pushing, but you put yourself into a 1v1 situation when you could put it into a 2v1. So right there, it's those micro decisions where you have to say, hey, my teammate's weak. I'm going to cover an angle, hold it down until he's healed back up. That didn't happen and allowed Cerberus to get right back on into it.
Yep, and look at how Cerberus is setting up. They've seen the aggression from their opponents, and they're making sure, hey, I don't want them to jump in this window at me. Hey, I don't want them to bust in the bottom doors at me. And so they're setting up counter to that. It's very, very good for Cerberus, and also good for Infinite Esports not to overstay their welcome either. Infinite Esports being on the defensive side, they don't technically have to go in for anything aggressive, but damn it, they're doing it. And they go killing Kulch post mantle, and Savini going in as well, turning and burning on Prada. Disgusting. And Infinite Esports taking another round.
I just want to know what Daunt did to Kulch on that window hop-up, because Kulch was watching it and Daunt somehow won the gunfight, and that scared me a little moment. I thought the knife was going to come out from Prada, but again, they're starting to switch it up. I think that's kind of the key to success for Infinite. Show some aggressive rounds, play a little bit slower, because guess what? Cerberus, they slowed their pace and we're expecting that aggression to come through, and then eventually they fed right on into the hands. But again, this is a team that has such talent, and coming on in, I think Noble and Kulch, they are the IGLs. They need to get everybody and say, hey, let's play this one slower. Again, Kulch just gets caught out. And unfortunately, this is, again, those are those 1v1s. You're a little scared about where that could have gone the other way. Still, Daunt wins it, and now they put themselves in 3v2.
Now, this is curious. They got two people down, and Savini, he's going to backtrack towards the rest of his team. I was getting a little worried about the fact that he was the furthest one up and had the bomb and had no one else with him, but he's going to backtrack towards his team. That's exactly what they should be doing, forcing Vader off the angle with the threat of death, but the bomb will still be planted. BeavR, aka Cerberus, in a little bit of a rough spot. Daunt got the typical entry angle on lockdown, flank lockdown. This is a great shape once again for Infinite.
And yeah, they're just trying to catch any of the players from Infinite sleeping, not holding an angle, and they're just trying to make sure they get aggressive. And oh no! Savini just gets smoked, Prada! But in a 1v2, his teammate goes down 15 seconds, and Daunt's gonna get caught out, but guess what? Vader, you don't need to do anything except check it at 7.5. That's what he does. Prada! My goodness, you get 3, but still Infinite, they stayed home. And honestly, I don't know how Prada won that first gunfight against Savini, because he had him dead to rights, and guess what? I think that was a little bit of payback from the last round.
Yeah, I mean, if you need another lesson in maintaining your shape, that is definitely one very scary situation for Infinite, showing you that Prada, if you aren't doing your due diligence, if you're trying to take wild challenges at him, he will 100% kill you. Time over time again, he wins his ones. And so Infinite Esports, they had such good stuff going their way, but yeah, they ran the clock out well.
They ran it out, and again, they waited till about 28 seconds to make a move, and they just had the positioning down to a T, and now you're gonna have that information. Well, Vader, bad timing for him. Gyra was playing it to perfection. He pops out and guns Vader down, so this is gonna be a really difficult retake, but Roblox, he does get a tag up with the grenades. He's gonna try to wallbang this. I would like to see it. And Savini does, and so he actually finds the kill. And now Prada, he might get caught out. Daunt is there. He's ready for it. Oh, he doesn't check the corner. And Roblox kid not able to get it done. Cerberus playing off of each other beautifully. holding each other's angles, running away, staying alive. And that was a great job because that looked a little scary. I think if Daunt checked that corner or went hunting a little bit faster, he might have been able to find that kill.
Yeah, honestly, Cerberus did a really good job of punishing any attempt that their opponents tried of gathering intel. As soon as Vader sees, hey, are they transitioning to this site? Answer is yes, and you die because you wanted to get that answer. And pretty much as soon as they went poking around the middle of the map, died. And so yeah, Cerberus doing a great job at punishing their opponents, trying to extend into any aggressive position.
And this is everything slowing on down. And I like where number 6, Prada, is positioned. He's making sure that nobody's trying to go towards B. And Kulch, he just gives a few little love taps through the door and he can hear him. But Vader, I'm not sure where he caught out number 8. And that was Gyra trying to get a tad bit aggressive. The bomb is going down. And, oh, it actually will. So now it's a 2v3. This is a difficult spot. Daunt, he knows he has to stay alive for just a little bit longer. He waits for Kulch. Noble not able to find the kill, but Prada is Daunt in a 1v1.
And it's against Noble. He's got the bomb site under his control. He has to be very careful as to how he challenges this, and he does it so well. Looks away at the worst time in Infinite. They do get the job done in that round as well. 1 away from winning this search and destroy.
And that was just bad that Call of Duty timing at its finest right there. He was holding it, and immediately when he looked away, Daunt went out and challenged. But we have seen this lead before for the side of Infinite. Do not give them any room to breathe. Close it out here. Because even in their first series, I was just kind of sitting watching in the background. They were up 5-1, and they let the team back into it. So you cannot have it happen in basically these two maps. You just do not want to allow that doubt to start to creep on in. Daunt, though, desperate kill right there. At least gets it to a 2v3.
Yep, Gyra expecting the flank, and well done. These guys, they know their stuff. And they will be shutting down a lot of what Infinite tried to do. Gyra knows where he is. Savini, good headshots though, and will be scurrying on away from that one. Turns it from a 3v1 into a 2v1. But Cerberus, BeavR, they pretty much know that they are free and clear to plant this bomb. If Savini goes for this shell, oh my goodness, gets away with murder there, quite literally. And now Savini backtracking again. He wants Kulch to come up into the belly of the beast. Kulch looking for him. Now he knows. Now he knows where he is. Kulch, he's in trouble. He's in trouble as Savini sitting waiting patiently for his time to strike. And there you go, Savini. Infinite eSports, they finished their dinner, and they will be winning 6-2.
Guess what? Savini said, hell to the no. We are not allowing this one to go to round 9 because he pulls off the 1v3. First of all, that gunfight against Gyra, ridiculous with the submachine gun, had no right at winning it, and then he just outplays with the dead silence. He finishes at 9-4, Daunt 10-4. This is what Infinite Esports needed. Guess what? They came here to play. They are not rolling over due to the last series. They are starting to take it to this team right now.
I mean, yeah, not even just proving it to everybody else that they are really good at search and destroy, but proving it to themselves once again. It's a big confidence builder just to go from saying, all right, we had one of the worst search and destroys of our life to going and saying, all right, we beat these guys 6-2. It definitely resets the mindset, I would say, a little bit. And yeah, it's 100% a good thing. And so going forward into this control, it wasn't even that bad, the last LS Silo. They had some good moments, but just unfortunately they had the similar issue where they lost their shape and would collapse quite often. And it seems like they have been a lot better at avoiding doing that. They will have a couple of rounds where they have done things that I would say, yeah, are a little bit careless. But by and large, they have, as soon as they do something like that, they're like, all right, guys, pull it back. We're not doing that again. And man, I think that one series is all they needed to get was a kick in the pants in the right direction, Graf.
Completely agree with you, and a kick in the pants in the right direction, probably right in the cojones as well. They're like, yeah, we don't want that to happen again. And so they are coming to play, but just kind of watching them, they are not a control team. I think they've lost every single control they've played so far. One was a 3-0, one was a 3-2. So they are, their confidence isn't in this mode. I think it's in hard points and in the searches. So if they're able to take this one and get it in 3-0, again, it's just another big confidence booster. Still, it just feels like something is missing right now from the side of Cerberus. It doesn't feel like this is the team that we have seen so far today. It just kind of feels like they're just lacking some type of juice or some type of chemistry where one player is getting completely slayed out in one map or the other.
Yeah, I mean, in that search and destroy, at the very least, there were a couple of different things at different times that led to their ultimate demise. One of them was not expecting the aggression from their opponents especially after the first round, where their opponents got really aggressive on them. And so I think that at this point, they have to say, all right, our opponents are going to really aggressively chill us out for the middle of the map. Maybe we sit back a little bit, set up for them to challenge us for these 50-50 positions. Maybe play a little bit further back, a little bit more towards the rest of our teammates and stuff like that, because that is 100% how you counter stuff like that, Graph. When you're getting beat individually or your opponents are just out aggressioning you, you fall back and you play defensively and you depend on your teammates. And I'm hoping that we see that from them.
I'm hoping that we see it too, because they do not want to get 3-0'd. They're going to find themselves, if they don't win this series, they're going to find themselves in a very difficult spot. And kind of taking a look at the bracket, Cerberus is going to have to go up in the next round, New Look Gaming. And then after that, they're going to have to go up against Papas, who ended up getting 3-1 by Infinite. But again, that is just another tough series coming up on the side of Cerberus. But on the other end of the spectrum, it will be Infinite going up against Acrylic, your team to win this entire thing potentially. So this is really a decider of who gets that third place.
Yep. Definitely no easy games from this point forward for either team. Best chance is to get a win right here, right now, because nothing is guaranteed at FOCO. But we'll see what Roblox can do. He is very, very deep, and somehow World Stars Noble there. And with that, you see Infinite eSports. They're completely taking over as per usual. They just run their opponents down in the middle of the map. The aggression is coming out. Cerberus and BeavR, they're going to be reacting to that pretty well after the first initial merge. Lose a couple of lives, but catch their opponents overextending and are now looking to get something on A, but yeah, not going to happen.
Not going to happen at all, as everybody just drops in synchronized succession. Roblox Kid still on a tear. He's at 3 in a row, and I've never seen an AR move as much as he does as he was pushed up in a close quarters situation. Eventually, he will fall, and this is kind of, again, one of the things Infinite need to start doing is just go a corner. They just all pushed up into the open and lose their ones. So they need to start realizing, hey, we got a good clean set. Let's just sit in a corner, get at least a 1-for-1 trade, and make sure that you're not going all 4 down, because they did it to the other team, and guess what? It happened right back to them.
Yep, and somehow, some way, Roblox Kid, there he goes, dies. But either way, A-Cap is going to be successful for Cerberus BeavR, and they do transition very well into the middle of the map. Vader does take down one, but with his death, they lose all influence over the middle of the map. And now Cerberus BeavR, they can do the full wraparound on him. Savini has to be very careful, and he knows it. Doesn't want to get flanked around the back. Daunt, going to be in a really good spot in their base, however, as well. And that, as long as he is back there, it's going to be very difficult for Cerberus to make any push at all.
And he gets this read on the next player, but not the angle. Oh, Noble just... Oh, no!
Oh, my
Noble!
God.
You didn't just do that to Daunt. You had absolutely zero right to do that to the man. He has a family. But again, Roblox is there for the trade, and I'm not sure if he saw Gyra. Did not, so the alleyway might be caught out. Vader, he's going to back up. Again, it's going to be Prada with that submachine gun. 36 seconds, 35. This is kind of a moment for the side of Infinite. Do you have the clutch factor? And oh, shaky shots from Savini. You can't have that happen in moments like this. Again, Infinite, they're kind of starting to fall apart when it matters most, and you just cannot simply have that happen.
Oh, and Noble, he is completely proxying them away. They are so far from the B objective, they could not be further. And so, yeah, the best hope is that they can get a nade through, but even that would be far-fetched in the extreme. Cerberus reacting very well to the early pressure and surviving the gauntlet, getting the full win on the attack.
This has been the story, I think, for Infinite, is closing out a round, closing out a map. And right there, they had every single opportunity to do so, but all 3 of them dropped at the same time. and you just do not want that to happen. But Noble, my goodness, 4 kills in a row to end it, 8-4. I think he said, I've had enough of these Infinite eSport blokes. We are about to smoke them here in the control as they are going to be on the defense now. It's really who finds these opening few kills and who's going to be able to get that opening point.
Yep, Noble, secretly British. Gonna be looking to open things up for some good kills, but Vader gonna be supplying the pistol whips instead. And Prada, last one to fall. With that Infinite eSports in their typical aggressive way, is gonna be blitzing onto the A objective. Mid-map pressure still going to be here for Vader, so I like that they haven't completely given it up in favor of power burning it, in the favor of, you know, getting short-term success while potentially jeopardizing their long game. But yeah, Cerberus, BeavR, they're doing the exact same thing. They're looking to hold the middle of the map with 3 people and prevent this good transition from Infinite.
And oh, Savini, I thought he was about to get world starred by Gyra. Does not happen. It's a 4. He's 4-4. Maybe thinking about hopping to that B site. There's actually nobody home, and it's really coming down to number 1. That's Noble. He's all the way in the back. Is anybody going to read this? No, they are not. Vader, unfortunately, a half a second too late, and he's going to allow 2 of his teammates to drop. But Savini still pushed up in a really good spot, but Gyra, great read. The trade is there, but still too many members of Cerberus to deal with. But again, Roblox Kid and Daunt, they have already pushed their way up through field, and they're backing up a lot of the players from the side of Cerberus. And you can see everybody still trying to find that opening. Daunt does win it, and it's going to be in a 2v3. Now a 1v3 Savini. Good luck, my friend, because you're going to be put into a tough spot. But he's playing it safe. He's regaining with his teammates, making sure that he's not throwing his life away.
Yep, and it looks like, oh, Noble still in this great spot. I feel like Infinite really have to grapple with this guy at some point. They can keep on going for B all they want, trying to circumvent their mid-map pressure, but it is absolutely not going to be working. Noble has proven that he's just been too good at flanking them and utterly evaporating them. Roblox Kid gonna get through for a little bit, but yeah, again, as long as Noble and the rest of Cerberus have control over the middle of the map, there's not a damn thing that Infinite can do. Finally addressing it, better late than never. And now Vader's gonna go for the full flank. This could be deadly if Gyra doesn't see it coming, which he does.
Again, there's still time. You have 30 seconds, so just don't get overzealous. You have time to work a play. Guess what? Noble getting tagged up heavy by Vader, and it will be Prada coming in from Pride Rock. Kulch will go down, and that's 3 members. And now all you need is really 1 more kill to secure it. Roblox is doing everything he can just to stay alive and force them to look his way, and he is still alive. Talk about trophy for MVP. Will anybody from Cerberus be able to get there in time? No, they will not. And just like that, Infinite, they rebound with an offense of their own.
They do indeed, and like I said, they may be having some moments where they have some difficulties, but they've found their way of hitting the reset button, saying, all right, guys, what are we doing? Let's go get the middle of the map pressure back. And literally right after they did that, the site came very shortly after. These guys know what they're doing. They know it in their hearts and in their minds, and they are now pulling it off. Cerberus, BeavR, it was a valiant defense, but as soon as they all got full team wiped, and the fact that Roblox Kid was also holding a very high line, spawning them out, it was basically over.
I want to point out, Noble 17-8 in 2 rounds. The man is turning up for his boys as Roblox, oh my goodness, Noble is really just ripping scalps right now, but a good 3 player down. And year number 8, Daunt puts himself in a good position. You don't really need to challenge anybody on A right now, but oh, he goes for it either way, and he's on 5 in a row. How big would a streak mean for the side of Infinite, especially on the defense? Roblox does the smart thing. He backs down from the chow. And again, they're just taking their time. Roblox comes in a good flank. Daunt will end up getting that streak. Kulch, though, coming in from atop, and what an awkward timing for him as Roblox watching over his teammate. And this is what they needed to do, is hold each other's angles. And I think Infinite, they're starting to learn from their mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely indeed. And so we're gonna be seeing Cerberus trying to put out the feelers, see, hey, where are they, and where are they not? Seeing if they can get away with a play onto B while they get a play onto A. This is an interesting approach for them. Infinite, they should be able to counteract this pretty well with their overall map positioning, but they're trying to play for some kills. Look at how chaotic they're making this. Cerberus, they're they've completely bypassed all of their opponent's sight lines. This is going to come as a little bit of a surprise to Vader and the rest, and well played. A little bit unorthodox, but I mean, sometimes that's exactly what you need, Graf.
And that was awkward positioning across the map. It was like 2 players from either side were in each other's spawn, and oh my goodness, what a hip fire from Kulch. Still, Savini a little bit too clean. Prada immediately there on the return, but you have a minute and 40 to work with. It's just a matter of Infinite, don't go 3 down again. You just can't have that happen. And the question is, if you're Noble, you're gonna spawn them at the back of Pride Rocks. You kind of want to get out of this position. And that's exactly what he does. And still, it will be Roblox coming on in. Savini in the backside spawn. Will he be able to stay alive? And I'm not sure if Roblox helped out, but he still finds 2 in the front of the hill. And Kulch, he has no idea where he is, but Gyra cleans it up. Daunt in bottom, and he could cause a lot of disruption here in the White House.
Yep, and they know that there is one guy back there because he was on the cap for a little bit, and so they are probably going to dedicate some people back here, at least Roblox Kid, to go on to get the better of him while they try and get Daunt out of their own base, which is good. Vader getting bullied off the angle now as well. Gyra looking for the full kill, but Vader knows all he's got to do is keep this position alive, and it will always be a thorn in the side of Cerberus. They can't afford to take too much time in chasing him down either. They just got to go on in.
Oh no.
Vader, yes, gets the better of him, and so now we'll keep a very good angle alive while the rest of the Cerberus players have started to make their way over to a good position on B.
And look at number 2. It's really going to come down to Prada. When does he decide to strike, and can he find anybody? That's the question. But Savini gets the read and gets the kill. Noble left alone, and he's not able to do it. He will find 2, though, so that might give a little sliver of hope to allow his teammates to come on in. And oh my goodness, Kulch, he might run right by one of the players, and he's right next to him. Does Roblox realize it?
He doesn't know.
No, what a teammate! Do not tell me it's happening again. Will Infinite fall apart at the seams? And they need to find these kills in Roblox. Oh goodness, that was really scary. And Prada, oh goodness, Vader, you don't need to challenge. You don't need it. Oh, he still takes it. And Prada is left alive. And oh my goodness, Vader, they're walking right by each other. But it's 5v5. Make it 5v4. It's coming down to lives here.
Yeah, but closer to the objective for the stack is going to be Cerberus, and they do find Savini separated. Huge moment there for Cerberus. If Daunt can be getting the better of 1, getting the better of 2, trying to play his life. Go. My goodness, gets all of them down, and Prada will fall as well. And with that, the round so huge from Daunt and Infinite just get by the skin of their teeth.
I mean, Comica, what is with Daunt on Alicilo in triples? I think he did this one in the last series, and he saved him. That was a savior, a guardian angel for Infinite right there. Came down from the heavens, and he swooped him up in his wings. He said, I will take you here. We're going to get this round win. But you're looking across the board, Cerberus, they're just playing, I think, a little bit better as a team. Infinite right there. It's a scary moment. That was one where if they lose that, they might have just lost all control. No pun intended.
Yeah, funny. But either way, Vader getting in an interesting position. I was about to say, if he gets past that, then there's going to be pure chaos on the battlefield here, dude. But either way, Cerberus and BeavR going to be in a really good position overall to deny their opponent's position. But Roblox Kid on the outside of the map doing some good damage. Not going to be enough, though, in order to make Infinite get this first push successful.
And Savini wasn't able to spot that player in number 3. And that's a bad timing. And still, I think the player was running with a knife out, so still ended up getting the turn and burn. And that's 3 players down. But look at number 1, Noble. Does he decide to even challenge this? I don't know if that's going to be the play. I say maybe stay alive, hold the positioning for when they come out. But guess what? Vader's getting aggressive. Noble decides to strike, and they end up striking a little bit too late. And this is one of those problems where they maybe could have just played for a little bit more map control, and now it's split. But Vader, the farthest one pushed up, does get taken down. Robot pulls out the sub, not able to get the kill onto Kulch. Cerberus, they are still holding strong, but the pressure is still there from Infinite.
Yep, they do get at least a little bit up in their opponent's spawn area, which is going to be a little bit annoying for Noah, potentially Prada, bursting open the door, and he will instantly get found out. That is a huge amount of pressure off the board for Cerberus already. And so, Roblox Kid finding another 2, and Gyra, oh my god, they're falling like dominoes, dude. This is looking great for Infinite to go and power burn this down. This is looking to be the 3-0 in the series for them. Trophy system down, they gotta chow, they gotta fly, and goes Noble, and they will not be able to stop Infinite from beating them 3-0 in this series.
It is official. The regain button has been hit, and it was Infinite who came through. And I want to point out in those final seconds how, if you look at that mini map, everybody on Infinite played for kills. Nobody hopped the point until they found one. Then they found the second, and it really forced the hand of Cerberus. So again, in those moments, they did not break this time around, and guess what? It pays off in dividends. They get their first control win. They get their first 3-0 of pool play, and they at least probably have secured themselves the at least number 3 and number 4 seed coming on into Championship Sunday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure for them that's going to be the 3rd place spot, which is great, in all honesty, considering how difficult their group is. But yeah, moving forward, there are going to be no easy games for anybody. You've got Cerberus going up against Newlook, who are current 2nd place, and they are current 4th place. Infinite can be going up against Acrylic, our current 1st place, and they are current 3rd place. And then the final game for both of them, you got Cerberus going up against Papas, who pretty much had the same stat line as you did up against up against Infinite. But Infinite going up against Grimace's Gremlins, just based on this so far, I do think that Infinite will stay rooted in their 3rd place spot, and yeah, it's still a little bit of an open book for Cerberus and everyone else.
Yeah, and they're coming on into, again, maybe the toughest series. Again, both of these two teams, one is going up against Acrylic, one is going up against New Look Gaming, and I actually think the last round of the night, no matter what, we are going to get you that Acrylic versus No Look, because everybody, that's going to be a hype match you want to see and stick around for. But I guess, what are your overall thoughts on this series? It's Infinite. They go 3-0. They take down the side of Cerberus. What do you think that they did a little bit differently that allowed that success?
Well, they realized when they were making a mistake, they instead of sort of like, chowing out a little bit wildly, trying to themselves to be the difference maker, they tried to play a little bit more together. I feel like they were just a little bit more aware of the game in general. Whereas, like, they realized, oh crap, we don't have control over the middle of the map. We should probably go back and get that. Or like, say, when on the search and destroy, one of the guys flied out and he died, and they're like, oh, all right, well, let's pull back a little bit, play some time. And so, yeah, just a little bit more aware. Even after they made a mistake, which everybody does, they were aware of how to pretty much counteract those mistakes pretty well, and I think that was the major difference.
Major difference indeed. And so good job for the side of Infinite. For Cerberus, it felt like they had good teamwork, but again, they just weren't finding the kills. So maybe that comes down to your angles that you're holding, maybe one player just not having a good series. They do need to clearly fix something, because now they sit at 1-2, and they have lost at least a map in every single one of their series. So they need to start cleaning it up, because they do not want to find themselves in that bottom side, because really there's some good teams that they could still play. I think Papa's is one where they could still take the side of Cerberus, and that could really define if you are going home tonight or you're staying for Championship Sunday. But again, everybody, we will kick it to a short break. But before we do that, let's give a little quick shout out to Dark Fusion as Gaming Chef breaks us through what they can do for you.
With Dark Fusion systems, you'll be able to dominate the battlefield. Our high-powered computers are designed to give you the edge you need to win. Whether you're playing solo or with a team, Dark Fusions will help you take your game to the next level. So what are you waiting for? Get your Dark Fusion computer today and start dominating the battlefield.